My name is Luca Pretolesi. I'm a mixing, mastering engineer and producer based in Las Vegas. Our company is called Studio DMI. Doesn't mean studio as a recording studio. This means the study of digital music innovation. And we are deeply involved in electronic music, from the educational side to helps other producers to make music better, again, including additional production work, mixing and mastering. We use a lot of analog gear, mix of vintage and modern type of gear, and a lot of plugins, fully integrated. Being involved 100% on dance music, we use mostly electronic sounds where any drums is being created from a sine wave or a square wave. There's a really little use of acoustic sound and mostly electronic. Using outboard gear, there's always a concern of noise floor. And going from a very old piece of gear from the 80s to a new hardware to a plugin, we want to minimize any possible problem caused by power. And then from power, it goes into audio. So specifically for drums and transient response, it's very important to have a very clean and linear power. Building a studio here in Vegas is always very challenging. It's a city that's fantastic, but it doesn't have the best reputation for power, for the quality. So building this machine for us was very important to use the best possible gas, if it makes sense. Having gear for $100,000 and have not the best power, it was making me nervous. So we tried to start to build the studio literally from ground up and making sure there's no second guessing on the quality of the power. Especially when we use like 5, 10 or more piece of hardware and we don't know if we're bringing some noise and where we're bringing this noise, if the power is causing issues. So for this reason, Torus was a kind of like a natural answer to have something very solid that we can trust every day. So the Torus Power AVR was recommended from Praudio LA. We had the luxury in this room to bring the power from outside the building just for the audio portion in this room. There was like an answer, a perfect answer actually, to be able to physically have a unit that sit in the back of this desk, and from that point on, it's going up to each unit. Separate everything from the computer side to the outboard gear to the speakers. Part of my job is mixing, but also is be able to recall exactly the same gear with the same result, the same sounds. Have a stable power, allow me to have the same response, the same transient response, the same noise floor. So in some way, when I recall a big mix, I don't want to have a sound that change and fluctuate through times. So have, again, a very linear response from the power is very, very important. So when I discuss about audio quality with friends and other producers, I like to make an example as like a fast car, a sport car with a cheap gas is not going to perform well enough. Or in some way, you're not going to maximize what you can get from the vehicle. Very similar to the audio. How you can trust wrong power on a $20,000 piece of gear that base the performance on the quality of power. So the Torus was kind of like an answer of that. In some way to make sure that is maximizing what I can get from power and go from there up. Current dance music is well known for loud music. And one of the characteristics of my work on the mastering side is to be able to retain dynamics, a perceived dynamic, but use very loud. So reduce my RMS level. Mastering a -5 RMS right now, it's my average point. Whereas the downside is that we're bringing low-level information on the mix, we bring up to the surface. A lot of compression allowed to small devices like iPhone or laptop computers to translate very loud, very transparent. And there's a lot of noise around us. So compression on music helps us to translate better. But at the same time, again, we're bringing low-level information up, including noise floor, or anything that is being caused by power. So have a clean power, allow me to get very loud, very dynamic, and very details without the noise that is caused by. From the mastering side of my music, I try to achieve a very loud master, but retain dynamics or perceived dynamics. The -5 is my kind of like my sweet spot as far RMS level. The downside is the fact that I'm bringing with compression a lot of like low level information up to the mix, especially on dance music, on breakdowns, on part where we don't have drums. We're bringing a lot of information like reverb. Now, having a clean response allow me to do that without worry about noise floor. If I use a lot of analog gear with a bad power, there's a big risk to bring noise into the mix. Part of Studio DMI mission is help producer to make music better. Everyone has a role on the music industry. My role as a finisher is to take whatever we receive, whatever I have in my hand, and try to take it one step higher and try to constantly raise the bar of quality of music.